Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, says he recognizes Israel's right to exist and that he has no religious objection to the nation of Israel. MBS, as he is popularly known, even said Saudi Arabia has no problem with Jews. He made those historic comments in the new interview with The Atlantic magazine. MBS said, though, that Israel must exist peacefully side by side with a Palestinian nation. Those are powerful words. And consider, just 4 months ago, Saudi Arabia refused to issue visas to 7 Israeli chess players to compete there in an important international tournament. The Israelis didn't get visas, but even the Iranian players did to compete in that event. Back in the studio with our Mohammed Al-Qasim. Mohammed, words are one thing, actions are another. These two nations, Israel and Riyadh, do not have diplomatic ties, despite the nice rhetoric in that interview. Will that change sooner rather than later?
I agree, and I think we normally say actions are louder than words. I think it's the other way around now. Words are very loud. And actions will come in later. I think this will be the prelude of a new era, a new relationship between Saudi Arabia and Israel. It's going to come down to it at some point. This is just the beginning of it, this warming up of relationship. When the Crown Prince says that I believe the Palestinians and Israelis should have the right to their own land, that's almost in a way saying that Israel should exist. And this comes from a government that did not even acknowledge the existence of the State of Israel for 70 years, didn't even allow any airplane to use its own airspace to fly into Israel. So we have been seeing this comes as a no surprise to anyone. If you follow the news in the Middle East in the last few years, you've seen that the relationship between certain Gulf countries, we're talking about Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and now Saudi Arabia, have been evolving. And this is happening a little bit, it was happening slowly. Now it's happening faster and on a higher official level.
Part of this interview as well, MBS said that Iran's supreme leader is worse than Hitler, who wants world conquest, and the world needs to wake up and notice it. Behind those words, is it really just opposed to the Iranian regime? Or there's some questions, some criticism. He's really opposed to Shiite Muslims in general, doesn't believe that they're on equal footing, doesn't want to give them equal rights. How much of it is against the Iranian regime, and really how much of it is an Islam power struggle?
He denies in the same interview that Saudi Arabia is against Shiites, saying that there are Saudi Shiites. However, it's evident that there is a hatred, a level of hatred that did not exist, at least publicly, between Riyadh and Tehran. And for him to keep on calling the supreme leader of Iran, this is the highest level, official level and religious level in Iran, Ali Khamenei, to keep calling him the Hitler of the Middle East, or even worse than Hitler himself, it's unbelievable. And I think he's picking a fight with the Iranians, trying to intimidate them. And also, I don't think that he would be doing this without having the green light from Washington. He has been given the green light to go ahead and attack verbally Iran as much as possible. And keep in mind that there is a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran taking place in Yemen. In fact, some say that there was another proxy war between Iran and Saudi Arabia in Syria. There, Saudi Arabia lost.